Welcome to the yoga practice. For today's practice, we will need the resistance bands, a light resistance band, and the 2 blocks. And our practice will start in supine position with 2 blocks supporting the back of the head and the thoracic spine. So when you come here, the block that support the spine should go roughly to the brow line, and you're finding where it's comfortable for the lower edge to support the spine to create some extension for thoracic spine, and the block under the back of the head support the head in a comfortable position that neck is more or less in neutral. And let us take the arms to the side of the body. You can have your feet a little bit apart. Ideally, you would like to have your knees straight, legs straight. Palms would face the ceiling. So today we'll be targeting the shoulders and thoracic spine. So here is the restorative position in which we just pay a little bit of attention to how we should feel in front of the chest and in front of the shoulders when we are trying to find external rotation, something that might be limited for us because most of our time we're looking forward, arms are in front, shoulders more into internal rotation. The thoracic spine is in flexion. So sometimes it's really a new sensations for the body to suddenly stretch the chest and expose the front of the body as well as expose the front of the neck. So I would like to start the practice today with a passive position to help you to connect to those sensations of the stretch and opening of the front of the body. Might feel a little bit weird for some, might feel even a bit of a vulnerable to be in that position. But we are using the breath to relax, to calm the mind, to calm the body, and we will be using the gravity to help us to create this exposure of the front of the body. So when you found that you're comfortable and you're able to relax, I would invite you to start noticing the pace of the breathing, taking the breath through the nostrils in, taking the breath through the nostrils out. In this elevated chest position, you might not be able to get the full capacity of the breath coming into the diaphragm. So you might feel more of the expansion of the top of the lungs, the top of the diaphragm, and that's okay for our purpose today. I would also would like to admit there's a bit of a change of the breathing pattern because of the extension of the spine. With this hold, would invite you to move your forearms a little bit, maybe more closer to the T position, and notice if you are still able to relax your forearms, keep your elbows on the floor, and how this movement of the arms will change, or maybe even for some force your shoulders to be open a little bit more. So let us have here another breath, 2, 3. And then let us lift the arms from the floor. So palms are facing the ceiling. So the arms are from the floor, elevated to the height of the block that you keep your chest elevated. And let's now turn the right palm down toward the floor. So you will internally rotate your shoulder. And then let's return back the palm up toward the ceiling. Let's try to do it with the left. Turn the left palm down to the floor and then open it again. And now let us go with the two arms. So one palm goes into the, and shoulder goes to internal rotation, and then change the position. You can continue with the palm not just parallel to the ceiling, but maybe rotate it a little bit more toward the above the head position. So whatever your shoulder allows you. And then at some point, not use your open palm, but make a fist. Keep your arms strong and start moving the shoulders a little bit more, like you want to lift your shoulder off the floor. This is just a warm-up. We're going to do this in seating as well. So I would like you today to explore this movement in this elevated position. So let's go for 1, both arms, 2, both arms, 3, 4, and 5. And let's just shake the arms, release them, and then let us take the arms up toward the ceiling, palms facing each other. And now just pay attention where your shoulders. So let us lift the arms as high as possible. So you are pulling shoulders away from the block that are supporting your spine, and then let us drop the shoulders like you want to hug the block. And then again, lift, so a protraction of the shoulders. Feel how the space between the shoulder blades press to the block, and then move the shoulder blades down. You might touch the block, you might not, but think of hugging the block with the shoulder blades. And then again, lift it up, and then drop it down. Again, lift the tip of the fingers up toward the ceiling, drop them down. Make sure that your trapezius are not turning on. And then again, lift, so it's moving from the shoulder blades, not from the top of trapezius. And come down. And let's just release the arms. And from here, let us bend the knees, move to the side. Maybe you would like to remove the blocks completely and just come with the spine down to the floor for the moment, and bring one knee at a time to the chest. Rock from side to side, just massage the lower back. We want some extension for the lower back here. And when you're ready, start rocking from the hips to the shoulders a couple of times till you're ready to come into seated position. And just to be more comfortable in seated position, let us take the block and sit on the block here. So sit on the block. If you're comfortable to cross leg, it's fine. If you would like to have one leg open straight, that's great as well. And just sit tall. So try to keep your chest open. Try to mimic the same sensation that you just had on the mat here. So roll the shoulders back and lengthen through the spine. Just notice if you get used to have your shoulders rotated back here. And let's take the arms parallel to the floor, exactly how we did it on the line on the floor position. Make a fist, and let's move the internal and external rotation. So think like someone is stretching your arms away, so the arms are engaged and you're trying to get the full rotation in and out. And notice how a shoulder blades moving a little bit. Your upper body moves a bit, but you're trying not to move too much yet. So try to get your torso, hold your torso in the center. Go for maybe a couple of more. And then let's release, shake your arms, and let us now bring the elbows close. We're going to prepare, we're going to learn this movement or remind the body how to do this movement. We will have this later in standing as well. So get your elbows close to the rib cage, hold your forearms parallel to the floor, and just open both palms out. And hold this to the point when you feel your shoulders cannot rotate anymore. And keep squeezing the shoulder blades a little bit. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. So we might want to drop the chin. It will be compensation. And then bring the palms back. Let's do it one more time. So try to keep your wrist straight. So don't compensate in the wrist. Open. So just imagine you have a plate. So if you hold the plate like that, the meal will fall off. So you would like to keep it straight. Feel a bit of it. Work here in the shoulders and then return back. And one more time. Just hold to the maximum. Open the forearms to the maximum. Keep long spine. Keep neck neutral. Chin parallel to the floor. Feel a bit of a work for the squeeze in the shoulder blades. And release. Okay, great. Shake your arms. And just the last one, we're going to do it in seating, and then we're going to do it one more time in a tabletop position. So make a fist, and now squeeze the shoulder blades, and then move the arms forward. So I will be with the side. So it's exactly how we did on the block. You squeeze the shoulder blades, and then you move the arms forward like you want to hug yourself with the shoulder blades. So protraction and retraction. So retraction is when we bring the shoulder blades together. Protraction when we hug ourselves. And what is most important is to control that traps are not on the picture. So we don't want to activate the traps and want to do all the work for the shoulders. That's why they're so tight. So I'll go a couple of more times here. And let's release the arms. Let's come from the block. Get your blocks that you can reach them to the front of the mat, and also your resistance band, prepare that to be on the front of the mat so we can pick it up when we need, and then allow yourself to come into the child pose, but that's going to be the active child pose. So bring the forehead down on the floor, walk your fingers away. And as you practice in this active child pose, some of you might not be able to go with the forehead down to the floor. You might want to use the block to support the forehead. Your elbows probably is off the floor, and I want you to have your base of the palms to be off the floor. So just walk the fingers forward, and then control what's happening in the shoulder blades area, in the upper back area. Think of like you walk forward, the traps want to go toward the ears, and you're actually resisting and trying to keep the shoulder blades apart, sliding them toward the base of the spine. So like you want to separate the shoulder blades. That's a sensation that we want to do in a downward dog as well. So it's not something that you're stressing your shoulder blades, but you're just trying to activate the muscles on the side of the shoulder blades to stabilize the shoulders. You might even feel how your triceps are turning on here. And then let us just release the arms. If you had the block, remove the block and bring your knees together. Let's bring the arms on the sides of the body. And that will be your internal rotation. This is your rest pose here. Everything in the upper back, in the upper body feels like, oh, finally, I can rest here. This is a comfortable position. Exhale. So muscles love to be in this relaxed position around the shoulders. And then we will come up into the tabletop position. So set your position, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And let's just start with the traditional cat and dog stretch here. Finding some movements in the all length of the spine, not just the upper back, or neck, and go in a pace that you like. So this is a warm-up for the spine, now involving also the lower back. And keep your breath as your guide here. But as you're coming into the next dog stretch, hold it here a little bit and try to squeeze the shoulder blades and like lifting the head away, stretching the neck a little bit, just to get more of this open chest sensation. And then as you go into the cat stretch, let's hold this cat stretch with the head dropped in the space between the arms, and think of the spot that was on the block in the beginning of the practice. Press it up toward the ceiling. So this is should be the highest point of your flexion. And then again, very slowly go, and we're going to hold this dog stretch here, keeping shoulders away, squeezing even if you can, activate the muscles. Squeezing the shoulder blades, keeping long neck, and then very slowly come into the cat stretch and try to press this point of thoracic spine up toward the ceiling while your tailbone is pointed in between the heels, head in between the arms, and then return back to neutral position. Here we will keep the hips high and walk the hands forward, and we'll drop the chest, and this time if it's comfortable to keep the chin down to the floor so the eyes are going slightly forward. That might be too much for some of you. Your shoulders are not allowing to go this low. Again, use the block to bring your chin down and walk your hands. So here you are forcing the locked position for the thoracic spine extension. You feel some stretch on the front of the shoulder. That might be not the most comfortable position for some of you. Do your best. Adjust it where you need to be. So just think of the extension of thoracic spine that you're practicing here. But nothing is support you. You need to force that. And when I say force, it's not something that uncomfortable or painful for you. Let's hold here for 3 more. Exhale, thinking of dropping the chest lower and creating stretch on the front of the shoulders. Exhale, and then move your elbows closer and just lift yourself up. If you have the block, remove it, and pick up your band. Bring the band around your shoulder blades, and then come into the tabletop position. So you can have a couple of movements of a protraction and retraction of the shoulders here on your own when you're ready, and that will be, the protraction of the shoulders will be like a counter pose for the back bend we just practiced. So feel how the resistance should be light. I just want you to feel how you're pressing, how you're engaging the muscles on the sides of the shoulder blades to resist to the band, and you're keeping your neck parallel. So very often when we are in a tabletop position in a plank, we're dropping the head. So I'm encouraging you to keep your neck parallel to the floor. You're exercising the muscles on the sides of the neck. And now find yourself with pressure. So you're pressing the hands to the mat. You're pressing the space between the shoulder blades into the resistance band, and let extend one leg at a time and find yourself into the plank, and engage your glutes and press your belly into the spine into the ceiling, and hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees, let's rest a little bit. So here, after some mobility of the shoulders, we came to stability of the shoulders, finding some muscles here on the side, triceps, to stabilize the shoulder. We need that for all the downward dogs and planks that we're practicing. Let's do it 2 more times. So come into the tabletop position, and to understand that you are in protracted position, you can squeeze the shoulder blades and then go into the opposite. And engage the arms and again extend one leg at a time. Use the glutes and legs. Keep neck parallel. Hold. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees. Let's again have a little bit of rest. In any time in the rest, if you need to stretch your wrist, get the back of the palms in that position. Stretch the wrist. And we'll have one more plank with a resistance band. So again, you come to the tabletop position to make sure that you know what's happening in the area of the upper back. You can squeeze and then press it. Neck parallel, extend your legs, hold. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's release. Let's release the band. Again, keep it in front of the mat to accessibility. Maybe shake your arms here a couple of times. And then let us step the right foot forward. Get yourself in a stable position. So if you need to have feet a little bit apart, that's okay. Maintain the neutral spine position. Take your arms into cactus pose. So elbows and shoulders align in the twist into the pulses into dynamic warm up to the right. And go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And return back to the center. Let's change. Step your left foot forward. Get your neutral spine position. Take your arms in the cactus pose. And twist to the left and go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. So coming into the tabletop position, you will prepare your hands for the downward dog. So split your fingers, get your middle finger straight forward, and when you're ready, tuck your toes and get the downward dog. Set your head between your arms. You can have your knees bent. You can walk your dog to stretch the calves and hamstrings here. And then when you decided to stay stable, remember how we were trying to slide the shoulder blades to set them stable, to support the shoulders. So they're not into the extreme lift toward the ears. But again, when I'm saying that you want to slide them toward the base of the spine, it's not something that uncomfortable. You want to find a neutral position here for the shoulder blades, but you want to activate all the muscles around, include the triceps to stabilize the shoulder. Head is down to the floor. Take here the exhale, scanning the spine from the base, from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head, creating the sensations of the traction of the spine, and then look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Set your feet hip distance. Just hang here for the moment. Stretch the back of the legs and then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, let's come up into the standing position. Okay, so here we'll go for the couple of sun salutation, in which we'll also add some shoulder mobility. So when you're ready with inhale, lift the arms up. Hinging from the hips, exhale, folding forward, release the head down. Maybe you're reaching the floor with your palms. Step your left foot back, and for this first one, let's drop the left knee down to the floor. So for the first one, maybe we want to warm up the hips. It's a first deep lunge here, so you're welcome to use the blocks if needed, and just to warm up the hips, just to open the left hip flexor here. And then when you found that you're stable, I would invite you to pick up the band, lift the torso, and just have a little bit of resistance of the band to take it behind the head. So band is opening your shoulders, but this is not something that uncomfortable. The band is just helping to open the chest, and you look up and pressing the hip down and allowing the band to stretch the front of the chest. Hold, and then release the band down to the floor. Tuck the toes and step into downward dog. If it's a several moves, that's fine. Come to the downward dog, long spine. Exhale. Taking another one. Again, use the downward dog as a contour pose for any back bend that we're practicing, but also be aware of how you work to stabilize in the shoulders. Drop the knees down to the floor and step the left foot forward. And again, welcome to use the blocks. Just find where the comfortable position for the back knee, how you feel, and stretch and opening of the right hip flexor. So that might take a couple of moments here. When you're ready, you're going to pick up the band again, push the hips forward and down, take the band overhead, take it behind, and just keep opening the chest, look up. Don't drop the head too low. Use a bit of a work for the strengthening the neck muscles here, but sensations here of the opening of the chest and shoulder rotation should prevail. And then exhale, bring the band down to the floor, tuck the right toes, and step the left foot back, head between the arms, long spine. Exhale here. Press the heels down to the floor. On next inhale, look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Hold here for the breath, and then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, come up into the standing position. Exhale. So roll the shoulders. So every time we come into standing, just work on some external rotation of the shoulders. Let's flow again. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Release the head. This time, stepping the left foot back, but keep the leg off the floor. Pick up the band. Have a moment to balance yourself here. So feel that your legs are holding you strong. Body weight distributed equally. We're going to hold the band in front. This time you're holding this a little bit closer, so you have a little bit more resistance when you stretch the band apart. So when you stretch the band apart, your elbows are slightly bent. So you're using here a biceps, and just keep it a resistance here for the chest. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the band down to the floor and step into downward dog. Exhale. Taking the breath. And then finding your left foot stepping forward, lifting the torso. So first stabilizing yourself, finding support from the legs, taking the band in front. Again, is a little bit closer hold, and bend your elbows so you're able to use your biceps. And let's stretch and release. 1, stretch and release. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release the band down to the floor and step into the downward dog. Exhale. On next inhale, flow forward into the plank and press the floor. Just imagine that you have resistance band around your shoulder blades. Resist, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down to the floor. Exhale down. So for the next couple of movements, you first need to take a look. I'm going to be demonstrating, and I hope you all will see the movements that we'll practice. So the first movement that we'll practice is, you might use the block for the forehead if needed. You have your arms in letter wide, holding the fist with the thumb open up toward the ceiling. And we're going to be lifting the thumbs up toward the ceiling. Okay, we're going to do it 5 times. Then the second movement we'll practice is come to the cactus pose, but the same position for the palms. And we're going to be lifting this cactus pose with the thumbs out. Then we're going to come into the cactus pose with a fist, regular cactus pose. And we're going to do it here 5 times. Then we're going to come into T position again with a thumb up toward the ceiling. And we're going to be lifting this 5 times. So we're going to be targeting very small muscles around the shoulder blades this way. It will be 4 different muscles. I'm not giving you the names right now. Okay, so the position of the palm and arm is important. So let's go to the first one. I'm going to go again, slowly explaining. If you find you need support for the forehead, use the block. So get your arms into the letter Y. Make a fist and keep your thumb up toward the ceiling. So remember, every time we're coming into some type of a back bend, you need to use your glutes and lower abdomen to support the lower back. So let us see. You might feel like you want to lift your forehead off the floor. That's okay. So you can lift your forehead a little bit and lift your arms and just pulse. 1, 2, hold a little bit. 3, 4, 5. Let's rest. Exhale. Get your arms into cactus pose. So it's very important that elbows and shoulders align to 90 degrees. So your elbows are not going down to the rib cage. Palms are in the same position. Thumb is up. And let's lift the forearms and push up. 1. Push up and hold. 2. Push up and hold. 3. Push up and hold. 4. And 5. Hold and release. Let's now turn the palms down to the floor and make a fist. So this is a more traditional cactus pose we're practicing. And again, elbows 90 degree and lift the forearms. Keep the wrist straight and press up. 1, 2, 3. Have a little bit of a pause on the top. 4 and 5. Release. Okay, let's get the arms in T position. And again, turn the thumb up toward the ceiling. You might lift the forehead off the floor when you're practicing. That's even better. And lift and press up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold and release. This time we'll bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage. Press yourself, maybe hold the cat stretch for the breath, and then come into the downward dog. Exhale. On next inhale, look forward, walk to the front of the mat. Set your hands on the shins, lift the chest halfway, unfold all the way up. Inhale, exhale, bring the arms on the sides of the hips. So we're going to go into flow, and on the belly we're going to do the set again. So now you know the movement. So when you're ready, let's flow. Inhale, lift the arms up. Hinging from the hips. Exhale, fold and release the head down. Bring the hands on the shins. Lift the chest halfway. Roll the shoulders back. Touch the floor. Step the left foot back. Lift the torso up. And this time just come to traditional warrior 1, holding the arms on the both sides of the head. But be aware of the strength that you discovered in your shoulders. Keep your arms reaching up toward the ceiling. On exhale, bring the hands on the floor and step into downward dog. Exhale. Reset your shoulders. Find out how you're stabilizing the shoulders, how you're using your arms. On next inhale, flow into plank. Push the floor. Again, think of resistance to the band that we had before. Drop the knees down to the floor and come all the way down. Exhale. So let us take the arms into letter Y and turn the thumbs up toward the ceiling. Strong legs. If you need support the forehead, otherwise lift the head off the floor. Lift the arms up into Y, hold. 1, 2, don't drop them to the floor completely. 3, 4, 5. Release the head down. Reset cactus pose. Turn the thumbs up. Let's lift the face off the floor. Lift the forearms. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release down. This time start with the palms facing the floor and then make a fist. Your wrists are parallel to the floor. Lift the face. Not necessarily going high. Lift the forearms parallel to the floor and press them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release down, exhale. Get your arms in T position and open the thumb up toward the ceiling again. Last set, lift the head and press the arms up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release the hands on the sides of the rib cage. Press yourself. Have maybe pose into the cat stretch. And when you're ready, tuck the toes and come into downward dog. Exhale. Long spine. On next inhale, stepping the left foot forward. Finding the back leg supported. Lift the torso up. Take your arms overhead. Reach with the tip of the fingers up toward the ceiling. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands on the floor and step into downward dog. Exhale. On next inhale, flow into plank. Press the floor. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down to the floor. Exhale. Come down. Bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage. Roll the shoulders back. Strong legs. Lift the chest up. And while you're in this cobra, just feel awareness of a strong upper back, strong shoulders. Then tug the toes, chin to the chest. Exhale. Come into the downward dog. Taking the breath and look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Bring the hands on the shins, lift the chest halfway, and then unfold all the way up. Inhale, exhale, bring the arms on the sides of the hips. Taking the breath. So in the next flow, we're going to practice 2 very traditional yoga poses where the shoulder mobility is the key, is important, as 2 triangles. 2 extended triangles. So when you're ready, let's flow. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, hinging forward, all the way down. On next inhale, look up. Step your left foot back and let's first drop the left knee down to the floor and pick up the block. Place the block under the left shoulder. Make sure that the block is aligned with the knee and foot. Bring the right hand to the right side. Tuck your toes, left toes, and lift the left knee off the floor. Now here in this position, you would make sure that the left shoulder not traveling to the left. Left shoulder traveling to the front, and then you using the right hand to rotate yourself. Bring the right hand to the lower back first, and focus on the rotating of the right shoulder back. Look up above your right shoulder. And if your right shoulder is copyright, extend the right arm up. So you should have absolutely one line from the block, left palm, left shoulder, right palm. And you're lengthening forward with the crown of the head. And you're grounding, anchoring yourself with the left hip. So like you're stretching the whole body and rotating the chest here. Exhale the right hand down. Get to the downward dog as a contour pose here. Exhale. On next exhale, we're going to drop the knees down to the floor and step the left foot forward. Finding the right block now under the right shoulder. Aligning the knee and the shoulder. Then tucking the right toes and lifting the right knee off the floor. So it's important that the right shoulder is not traveling to the right shoulder only traveling to the front. If you need to move the left foot, you can go here. Start rotating here. So imagine that you are against the invisible wall behind your shoulder. Start with the left hand on your lower back. Ground yourself through the right heel. Rotate the shoulder and then take the left arm up. As you are twisting in the upper back, you continue to think of direction of the right shoulder and the head forward, not to any angle. Lengthening. Use the back leg to anchor yourself here. Hold. Then release the left hand down to the floor and step into downward dog. Exhale. On next exhale, let's drop the knees down to the floor and step the right foot forward again. This time bring the block inside the right foot, but bring the right hand on the block. Keep your right elbow pressing to the right knee and then tuck the back toes. Drop the heel and open yourself toward the left. So still, you want to have your head going forward and then you take in the left arm up. If you shoulder cooperate, so you work on external rotation of the shoulder, reach up, hold here. Still should be one straight line. Your head is not going to the right, your head is not going to the left. Use the right elbow and the knee pressed to each other to get this direction. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the floor and step into the downward dog. Exhale. Long spine. Let's drop the knees down to the floor again. We're going to build to this pose from the kneeling position. Bring the block inside the left foot. Bring the left hand to the block and then tuck the back toe. Drop the right heel. So start thinking of the alignment of the shoulder and knee going forward. Rotate the right shoulder up and take the right arm up. And as you hold here, you think of pressing the right shoulder blade into invisible wall behind you. Keep lengthening. So head is going forward. Heel is grounding here. Work on external rotation of the right hip as much as it's available for you. Exhale your right hand down to the floor and step into downward dog. Exhale. Long spine, and let's drop the knees down to the floor. And here the relaxation position, taking the palms up toward the ceiling, rounding the shoulders, and just get in restful position. Exhale. Then bring the hands in front of the knees, lift the chest up. Just take a moment here to get your blood circulation back to normal, and then we'll come into 90-90 position. As I mentioned in the beginning of the class, we're going to address the hips as well because shoulders are hips related. So we'll just warm up the hips because we didn't touch them much except the lunges. So get your 90-degree. Shins are parallel, drop the knees to the left, get your tall spine. The right hip might come off the floor, so keep an active flex position for the feet, and then open the right knee, come to the center, tall spine again, go to the other side. Again, tall spine, lift the left knee, seat tall in the center, keep feet flexed. Keep feet flexed actively, yes. So when you come here, you are taking your toes toward the face. It's like a happy baby in a seated position, same position. Okay, and then go to the left. And then again, lift and continue, probably somewhere till you move to the front. At least I'm moving to the front of the mat in 5, 6 rotations. The movement happening because the left hip has a different mobility, and I'm adjusting my heels to remain aligned, and this adjustment actually moving my hips forward. So let's go 2 more to each direction. Last one. And then just shake your legs a little bit. And then we're coming back to the 90-90. Let's have the left leg in front, so we'll be on the same page. And so making sure shin and thigh parallel, shin and thigh parallel, and let us rotate toward the left. On some point, if you find it that you can hold yourself without hands on the floor, you can just hug your shoulders. So we're going to lean forward a little bit to lift the right leg off the floor. Flex foot. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop it down and let's change. So get yourself to the other side. Reset your 90-90. Might feel a little bit different. As I told, let's say I feel my left hip is not copulating into internal rotation as much. So you might use your hands on the floor. Lean forward a little bit, lift your left leg off the floor, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Let's rotate again to the left. So while you're setting your position, you can watch me. This time we're going to lift the knee up. We're going to bring it to the front. So one shin is on the front, on the top of the other. Then we're going to open, aligning heels, sitting tall. Then we're going to come back here and we're going to move this leg. We're going to pause here and then drop the leg down to the floor. We're going to do 3 in a row for the same leg. Okay, so let us do it together. So again, if you need hands on the floor, you can have hands on the floor, or using more of a core strength to hold yourself here. Lean forward to the left knee, lift the right shin off the floor. Move it parallel to the floor to get one on the top. It's like you're sitting on the left hip and then start externally rotating the right hip and sit tall. Your left knee comes off the floor, so you sit here. So it looks like that. You sit here. And then you're going to rotate back to the left to get one knee on the top of the other knee, one heel on the top of the other heel, and then move this leg back, hold, and then drop. And let's do it again. Lift, so you're 90-90 with the right leg off the floor. And then it's like shelf, you're just moving it in. And then you're opening. And then you're closing. And shifting back. Holding and dropping. Last time for the side. Lift, move it in. Open. Flex feet. Close. Shift it back. Hold. And drop. Okay, let us release the legs, shake them, before we go for the 3 sets on the left. So, as I told you, left hip might have much less internal rotation mobility, so that might be more challenging. You might lean more, you might need the hand to support here. So when you're ready, just sit tall and lean to the right and lift your left leg. So now shift it, slide it in, and now open. So check your external rotation here, like a rhomboid here. Then close back, shift it back, hold. This is the hardest part, and drop. So when you drop, you should come to 90-90. Let's do it 2 more times. Yes, this might be harder. Move the knee, Barb. I can see that your left knee should move backward more. You should have 1.5 foot distance between the right heel and the left knee. Sit tall. Lean to the right, lift the leg off the floor. Move it in. Open. Sit tall. Close. Move it back. Hold. And drop. Okay. One last one to survive. Okay, so lean, lift, bring it in, open, tall spine, close, move it back, and drop. Great. So let us just sit here, shake the legs. You might want to bring the feet together. Just have a little bit of the alignment for the lower back in a very passive fold forward. Exhale here. And then we'll pick up one block. Let's today practice the twist with extended leg. So extend your left leg, support the hips and bend your right knee. So interlace the hands around the right knee, maintain the tall spine, bring the right hand behind and twist yourself using a bit of a guidance. So not so much of the strength of the left arm, but guidance to rotate the torso, keeping chest open. Don't overdo the twist in your neck. More or less align the chin with the center of your chest. Close your eyes and relax here. And just feel with relaxation how you working on all their tissues around the mid-back. Massaging them in this twist. Something that we're not doing during the daily activities. Even if we need to rotate, we usually rotate with the hips. Here, hips are locked and rotation happening in the upper back. Unfold back to the center, rest with a tall spine, and then change. Extend your right leg, keep your left knee bent. And when you're ready, use the left arm behind as a second spine. Rotate yourself. Look behind your left shoulder. Keep a tall spine. Use this left arm to press the chest up and forward. And again, you can close your eyes and just think of relaxing here. Unfold back. Again, have a moment here with a straight spine. And then let us take the block away. And we'll come into the line on the back position. Bring your knees to your chest. Maybe just release the lower back comfortably. And let us take the arms overhead. We practice in this position very often. And I bet some of you feel a lot of restrictions in the shoulders and the upper back when we do this. So just check how you feel now. Can you drop the shoulder blades equally down to the floor? Do you feel that thoracic spine received some mobility to maintain this? It will be the extension for thoracic spine because it's going flat on the mat. And how you feel on the front of the shoulders. If you're able to maintain your elbows straight as possible. So that was the main goal of today's practice, is to work on the mobility of the shoulders. And then let us release the arms and bring the soles of the feet together. Elbows inside the thighs, and just press the knees out with the elbows if possible. But make sure that your tailbone not rolling off the floor. So keep yourself flat with a neutral position. So maybe you're not able to reach to the soles of the feet, but you're holding your ankles or even holding the knees. It's fine as well, as long as you're practicing the all the stretch of the area of the lower back. You can stay here if this is just enough for you to stretch, or you can go to the happy baby pose. And again, in the happy baby pose, I'm demonstrating with holding my feet, but that might be too much for some of you. You might roll off the floor with the table, and so hold your ankles. You can keep elbows inside the knees, maintaining shins perpendicular to the floor. Press the shoulders again down, shoulder blades down to the floor, and you should feel stretch in the inner thighs and hips, but also in the lower back. That's what I want you to feel it. Keep top of the shoulders relaxed here. And feel like you are creating the traction of the spine by pressing your body down to the floor. And then let's release the legs down. Take your arms in T position. Separate your feet maybe on the width of the mat and drop the knees to the right and then to the left. Go into dynamic movements here. We're going to have a hold in a moment, for which we will need 2 blocks. So while you're moving your knees, maybe find the 2 blocks. And then we will place the blocks on the right side. So align more or less with the hips, maybe a little bit lower. Take your arms in T position. Bend your knees 90 degrees and bring your knees and shins on the blocks. So you have a moderate twist here in the lower body, but I want you to focus on your upper back. Do your best to keep your left shoulder on the floor. If it's enough for you to maintain T position, keep your arms in T position. You might experiment to go into cactus pose. That will probably force your left shoulder into some stress. So work with your wrist to maintain straight, turn your head to the left, and just try to relax the left shoulder. If it's too much, on any point, release your arms in T position again. Close your eyes and try to just hold this position and notice how with exhale, with a relaxation, you might feel some release. So don't force yourself and don't resist. Find the sweet spot here to feel the comfortable stretch. Let's release the arms if they were in a cactus pose. One at a time, bring your feet back to the middle and readjust your spine to rest on the middle. You don't want to go to the other side right away. You want to align first, rest, so that all sensation of twist disappeared, and then you take in your 2 blocks and placing them on the left side, aligning with the hips, taking arms in T position, and bringing your shins, knees to the block on the left side, turning the head to the right. And again, here you might hold your arms in T position or get your cactus pose. It's okay if your right wrist is not reaching the floor. Keep the palm straight and don't flex the palm. That's going to give you indication how much you need to get to the floor here. Rotate your face to the right if that's comfortable for the neck. Again, don't overdo that. Focus more on the external rotation of the left shoulder with a very moderate twist in the lower body. You might feel a little bit of stretch around the back of the right hip, and keep working with the breathing. Release the arms first in T, then release them beside the hips, and one at a time bring your feet back to the center, realign your body. Let's lift the legs up, let's lift the arms up and just shake them a little bit for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a moment to settle your body for the relaxation. If you have any props, move them away. Use as much space as you need to set your arms the side of your body, ideally palms facing the ceiling. Taking your heels a little bit apart, letting your toes fall apart. Make sure to set the back of your head that the neck is in neutral long position. Maybe you want to squeeze the shoulder blades and then just relax them to create again the sense of opening of the front of the chest. The whole front of the body now open. Keep your eyes closed and follow the breath. Let the breath go through every part of the body and your mind collecting sensations that are rising after our pretty intense practice today. Intense in the terms of the challenges of mobility that we have in our bodies. Then let us move the fingers, move the toes, circle the wrists and ankles. Bend your knees, maybe you feel to bring one knee at a time to the chest. Massage the lower back, maybe go in circular movement. And then find your way to roll on one side. Maybe have a moment here. And then with the help of the one arm, bring yourself back into seated position. Take your time to settle your seated position, cross-legged or any other position. Welcome to sit on the block or any support if needed. Bring the hands on the knees and try to get length in the spine. Keep your chest open. Try to revive those sensations of the opening of the chest. Bring the hands in front. Press the base of the palms and base of the fingers together. Keeping a bit of a space between the palms, feeling the warmth. Thank yourself for having time and energy to roll off the mat and step on it. Practice the movement that maybe in some part were challenging for your body and maybe even more challenging for your mind. To force yourself in something uncomfortable, something new. Take this practice as a guide for your off-the-mat life, where we also feel sometimes that the life and the reality challenging us, and we have to step in uncomfortable areas. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.